Hello and welcome back to my craft room. As you can see, I've got my Snotter book out again. As I was clearing up my desk from the last session, I suddenly had an idea of how I can use all these layers of paint that I peeled off my icky paint palette. So for anybody that didn't watch that last one, what I tend to do is I don't wash my palette. I don't like to put all the paint down the sink because, you know, it might muck up our plumbing and it's not great for the environment. So I either, while it's still wet, I just brush off anything that I've got left onto an art journal so that it will become a background for a page later, or a bit of collage paper or whatever. Or I just leave it until it's built up a bit and then I have fun peeling it off. Because I really quite enjoy doing that. Not too much to peel off now because I peeled it all off in the last session and couldn't bring myself to throw it away because some of these have got such, they've got lovely, it's usually the underside, because you can see the layers that have built up over the course of several projects, so there'll be layers of colour and different texture. So I thought, I wonder if there's one of the pages in this book that I could stick it in. And what I'm going to go for is this one. So pages 2 and 3, this is a recording device. I had to look at this one and I thought, I'm not really inspired by this one. Record the events of your day in point form here. Make a mark every time you enter a room. As I've said before, I like all the pages to end up looking sort of colourful and interesting, and I just couldn't think of a way to do that. So I'm going to do my own spin on this, and I'm going to gradually collect all the peelings off of my acrylic paint palette and layer them, just stick them over here as and when they happen. And it will be a way of recording all of the arty-farty projects I've been doing. I think this might end up looking quite interesting. Let's just see if PVA glue is going to stick it down. It should, because it's acrylic. Yeah. I think that's going to be quite a fun page. Right, I'm just going to fast forward through this and I'll come back to you in a minute. So, I'm nearly done using up all these. I've just stuck them completely randomly wherever they seem to fit in. And I'm now thinking it'd be quite fun to create a kind of a palette shape around them. I maybe should have thought of that before I started sticking, but you know, these things develop as they go on. So I've given myself some pencil guidelines. I'm going to go around that with a bolder black pen now, if I can just find that. A couple of other ideas just occurred to me. I could have turned it into a record, as in an LP or a single, or I could have turned it into a cassette, couldn't I? But anyway, I've got this idea now. Let's run with it. So what colour should we have? I've got some white in my palette already. I don't really want to make it something too bright like pink, because I want this to show up. I think a kind of a neutral wood colour is going to be the thing. Right, let's mix up a bit of burnt sienna with a bit of this white and just see what transpires. So I'll touch this yellow oxide. Oh. Oopsie. Oops, very, very nearly dipped my paint in my coffee. It's happened before. I've also drunk the paint pot contents, so kind of feeling like I just want a touch of something brighter there, so already having a change of heart. But this is how it goes with me sometimes. So what I normally do, I will demonstrate now, is the leftover paints and things I will put onto a page that, you know, I don't really have any plans for, like this one, just to use it up and save washing it down the sink. But still, there's a little bit left inside that palette, and gradually those layers will build up, and when they do, I'll have another mammoth peeling session and add them to those pages. Ooh. So, oh, I love how that's already squidged onto there and started to look a bit weathered. So at some point I will add back in the words that this is a recording device, and then next time I peel my paint palette I will add to this. I may not cover all of that. I want to obviously leave it clear as to the paint palette, and once this is dry in a minute I might just go over with some transparent gesso so I can just use some coloured pencils on the edges just to sort of define my paint palette a little bit. Right, it's all nice and dry now, and I've given it a coat of transparent gesso, which just protects what's underneath, and it doesn't show because it's just matte, but it protects what's underneath and it gives it a nice kind of slightly gritty tooth that I can use pencil and things on top of. So now I've got, I haven't gone for black, I've gone for this dark indigo coloured pencil. It's a polychromos one, so it's quite nice quality coloured pencil, and I'm just going to go around, define some of the edges and put the writing back in, and then I'm done. There, so that's this one done for now. I've tried to give it a bit of a drop shadow and indicate the layers of paper that you get on this kind of palette where you just peel it off when you're done. And I love this idea now. It's completely unplanned, accidental idea, just because I couldn't bear to throw away the peelings from my manky paint palette. And anyway, a paint palette is a recording device, isn't it? well, that's it for now for this one. Thanks very much for watching today. I think it'll be a bit of a shorter and sweeter one than last time. I will pop it on the list with all of the other This Is Not a Book pages, so you can catch up with those if you would like to. Thanks very much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!